Good afternoon, everyone. It is currently Thursday, October 19th, and actually, no, it's October 20th. What am I thinking? I hope everybody is doing good out there and, at least surviving. I know it's been a long time since I posted a video last time, and a lot has been happening. As you guys know, I have 3 kids. I have a daughter that is 15, about to be 16 in March, and I have 2 boys that are my Irish twins that are they're both 2 years old right now, but my son turns 3 this Saturday. So they're 2 years old for like a month, but I've been busy with both of them trying to get my son that's going to be 3, his name's Giannis, and no, I did not name him after the basketball player. I'm trying to get him into like his programs because he's not walking independently yet, and he has autism and also a rare genetic condition. And I'm not looking for any kind of sympathy, nothing like that. I mean, it is what it is, and I have, doctors. I did my research, and I still am doing my research on like what programs, everything to benefit him and whatnot. Also, I've been taking care of myself with my mental health because, as you know, having, a mental health diagnosis, such as bipolar or whatever kind of diagnosis you have, it's a constant struggle. And this is the very, very, very first time in my life that I am experiencing these feelings and my emotions like without having drugs involved. I've been clean since June 1st, 2019, and I'm still on methadone, and I'm doing a taper, 2 milligrams every 2 weeks. I used to be at 210 milligrams when I had my last son, but now I'm down to 98. So I'm making progress, and I'm not going too fast because, I'm not going to put myself through being miserable, having to take care of these kids. For what reason? I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent in my program, and I am just taking it slow. I'm actually, for once in my life, listening to the doctor's advice by going down slow, because I actually have someone from high school that he passed away. He's been on methadone years. He's been clean, and he thought he was done with the program. He was at like, I think 10 milligrams. He was done with the program, and he was just going to be good. But then after, I don't know, 4 days, he started really feeling sick. So with him being done with the program, you can't just go in and be like, hey, dose me, I'm sick. No, he wanted to be done. He was adamant about it, so he was done. But he ended up using once and died. So he leaves behind a daughter and a wife. And when he had his daughter, I was the only one that went there to be at the hospital to congratulate him. It's a lot has happened since I last made my last post, and as I was saying, sorry I got like totally off track, but this is the first time in my life that I'm experiencing my mental health diagnosis and experiencing my symptoms without having any substances in my body, like not having any like drugs. I don't even drink caffeine past like 2 o'clock. So I'm not like a super strict person, like, oh, I don't want to do exactly this time. No, I'm just like I'm trying like natural things to make, and not just to like be like, oh, go to the doctor, okay, I can't sleep, I want some pills. That's not like I'm not trying to be like that. I'm trying to, try things like a different way. I've been doing that, and it's been working, honestly. Like for nighttime, I have like a whole routine kind of thing, and it's working for me. But what's really got my mind like puzzled is that I'm on like medications, and I've been on these medications for like a number of years, and these are no like new medications, like lithium, that's been around years. And I've tried so many other things, and I'm not about to try something new to have to like go through side effects, because that can be scary as hell, dealing with some of those side effects of medications, because it's no joke. But like lithium, I really don't like Seroquel. I mean, I was on a lot of that all day long. Like I was on that like 3 times a day. I mean, I'm not, no. Okay, but I'm on lithium and Cymbalta and like olanzapine, whatever. But me being on those medications, I take everything exactly the same time every day, but I'm still having like symptoms sometimes. Like I have bipolar 1, and I asked my my therapist, I said, why, if I'm on these medications, why am I still having some of these things happen to me? Like why is the paranoia getting bad sometimes, or why is this happening? And he says, I don't have an answer for you. That's, it's the chemical imbalance in your head, and that's why, doctors medicate people, and the medicines, when they work, they work, but it's not going to be 100% every day, and certain factors can make you feel a certain way. Like, and I understand that, things in my past have me triggered to feel a certain way. Lately, I saw a girlfriend of mine that I was friends with, since 2009. And, we went our separate ways. She was using at the time, I was using, and how you just, you just both go your separate ways. And, I ran into her about a month ago, of course, at Walmart, and she got out of prison now over a year, and she has a daughter that's like a year and a half younger than my daughter. And I asked her, how's everything going? She said when she got out of prison that she only used once, that she's been clean, and her daughter is 13 and her daughter's using. But she said, my daughter says she's been clean now, and this and that. And I'm like, wait, what? And my head immediately pictured her daughter like yay tall, like what? And I'm thinking like, oh my god, 13, oh my god. And at first I didn't even know what to say to her. And then I told her, I said, well, I know that, from experience, if you're not 100%, about it being clean, like 100%, and that you want to be clean, then you can't be helpful to your daughter at this time, and that's nothing wrong with that. I told her there's nothing wrong with that. I said, this is not something, addiction, it's not something where you can just be like a magic wand, you're cured, I wish, but it's something that everybody that has this struggles with every day. And for me, I told her, some people ask me, they're like, Joanna, you've been on methadone for, since 2017, and like, you still see a therapist once a week, and you still see your methadone counselor every 2 weeks. Like, why do you have to do all that? I'm like, I don't have to, but for me, I need to, because if I don't have my routine, then little by little, things keep messing up in my life, and then I know from like experience that it'll blow up in my face, and I will be what is it, like risky behavior, spontaneous, just I'll make bad choices without thinking, and then little by little start taking your medicine, and it all, like, it's like a mountain, and then it goes down, 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 little by little, and then you're back at the same spot. And I remember a lot of times from being clean, I tried a lot of times to get clean and going to detoxes, everything, and then when I used, I felt the same way every time that I ended up using. I was thinking in my head, why did I just do this? And that's the same thought every time. And now when situations happen where I get in a fight with, I don't know, my mom, or if something happens, like my friend passing away, and memories coming back in my head of anything, or if I get triggered by a song. I mean, I'm sure that everybody that's watching my video knows what I'm talking about. When a certain song comes on, old or whatever, if a certain song comes on and it's like you're listening to it and you're like, I gotta turn this off, I cannot listen to this, no. Mm-mm-mm. And I don't care how many times you try to listen to it, it's like, no, I cannot. So like when that stuff happens to me now, I know what to do in those situations. Before, I would just be impulsive and be like, I can't handle this, I need to go and I gotta get something right now, I cannot do this, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was in 2019, when I found out I was pregnant, I got pregnant February 14th 2019 with a guy that I didn't really know. I met him through a mutual friend, and he never consumed, he never did anything. Well, I got pregnant, and because I went out one night and said, you know what, I want to go out, because my life back then, I was by myself, and I would work, make my money, and use by myself, and hang out with a little bit of friends sometimes, but I'd just be by myself because you can't trust anybody out there, blah blah blah. So that's what I would do. And well, I got pregnant, so I found out in March that I got pregnant, and I went to a clinic like an hour before work, and I was like, okay, the lady walks in with like a bag and some booties, baby booties, and she's like, okay, you're pregnant. And I'm like, what? Are you sure you have the right person? I have a daughter that's like 14, she was 14 at the time. I'm like, well, why didn't I get pregnant like years ago when I was with a couple guys that I was with for a long time? Like, why did I get pregnant now? And she was like, well, we tested you 3 times, you're pregnant, congratulations. And I'm like, and my first thought was, what the hell am I gonna do? Because at that time I was so bad. Oh my god. When I left the place, not gonna even lie, the first thing I did was I called my guy and I said, I need you right now. I can't handle this right now. I need you now. And I used. But my whole point of this matter is, when you're faced with something, anything traumatic, whatever it may be, that was my first response, was to be like, you know what, I need something now. I can't even deal with this right now. I can't, this can't be happening. I can't, But, as you're clean, as your mind, starts to be free of the drugs and everything, your thinking changes. And, I thought for so long, my whole life, I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to be clean. I'm just screwed my whole life. I better get used to it. And I had a saying in my head. I said, when I had money, you know, when I would work and I would have money, I'd say, you know what, I'm not going to buy anything for myself right now, you know, like whatever, jewelry, whatever. I'll get something nice for myself when I'm clean. But for right now, I need all this money for drugs to make sure that I'll be okay for, you know, tonight, in the morning, this time. I have to make sure I'm okay for that, because that's the most important thing first. And that turned into, I was saying that every day, and I never got myself anything. But the point of the matter is, you know, it took a long time for my head to change my way of thinking. And, you know, it doesn't take a year. It didn't take 2 years. I mean, it took a while, and it's different for everybody. And, you know, I still struggle to this day with, you know, feelings of my past, of past traumas. But what's different now is I know how to direct those feelings. But with mental health, it's confusing to me, because I've never, like I told you guys, I've never, you know, been free of drugs to actually feel these emotions and to understand them, because, you know, I've been confused, like, well, why am I feeling like this sometimes when I'm on medications? Like, isn't this supposed to be, you know, make you on a straight, narrow path, you know, and not kind of bumpy sometimes? But now I understand. I'm starting to understand this whole thing. Anyways, oh, sorry, back to my last thing that I was saying about my friends that has the daughter that's using. When I left, you know, Walmart after I talked to her, you know, I don't know honestly if she did look like she's been clean, because she, you know, she gained a lot of weight, and she looked good, you know, because before she was bones, you know, just stick, but now she's thick, looking good, you know. But, you know, you never know, because, you know, sometimes when you're clean, you tell somebody, yeah, I've been clean this long. Other people that, you know, are maybe a little bit shaky about their sobriety, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm doing good too, but really they're not, because they don't want to sound like a fuck up. Excuse my language. They don't want to sound like, oh yeah, I'm still struggling. They don't want to be that person that's, you know, still in the circle of addiction. But you know what? That's fine. And I'm no better than anybody. You know, if somebody is next to me and they're still actively using, I am not any better of a person than they are. We are both human. It's just that we are in different times in our lives, you know, because I was that person, you know. I was that person. And when I got home that day, I ended up crying my eyes out, because wow, to even imagine that, you know, her daughter's doing that, when I remember her daughter so young. And then I don't know if I don't call them a friend, because they were associates. I'm not talking about this girl. I'm talking about another girl that I met through using, her and her husband. They had 2 daughters. One was, well, right now, currently their daughter is 15 and 14. And the father, you know, they grew up living rough. Like, these girls slept on the floor in houses that didn't have electricity. They lived rough. And, like, the dad never even went to school. He was all about drugs. Like, he never went to the doctor, nothing. The dad passed away about 1.5 years ago. And the mother has been just off the deep end, I don't know, ever since he passed away. She's just been off the deep end, doing a lot of bad stuff. And ever since this past June, she's been reported missing. Her daughters haven't seen her. She was on the news, you know, there's been a missing persons report. And, you know, her daughter, the one that is 14, She lives with her boyfriend, and she got pregnant. She's been pregnant 3 times, but this last time that she got pregnant, she, I guess, is ending up she's going to have the baby, but she's living with her boyfriend, and I don't even think she's in school. But the other girl, the one that's 15, she's using, and she lives with, I don't know, one of her sisters or cousins, I don't know. But these 2 girls, I remember them like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and they were just innocent girls at that age. They knew what their parents did, but they just kept a blind eye about it. And now thinking about where they're at right now in life, I feel so bad, because back then they would ask me, they would say, Joanna, can we come with you? We don't want to be here at our house, or I gave them each a cell phone. It wasn't connected, but it was like I had some phones that I just had in my house, and I gave them each a phone, and their dad ended up selling it. The dad sold their winter coats. I mean, it was so bad at that time for these people, for these kids, these girls, that I would go over there and I would ask for, hey, can I have a soda? And their dad would have to like break in with a crowbar into his brother's room to go get a can of soda, and he would charge me 75 cents, and he wouldn't let me keep the can for the soda to drink. He would have me pour it in like a plastic cup, because he would save the cans so he can go sell those. And like, I'm talking, they were very bad. Like, he sold their silverware, and their dad used also, and the dad gave him like a couple dollars to go to Dollar Tree to go buy some plastic silverware for the house. And the dad was like, this was his exact words, he said, oh fuck it, I'm not gonna get any plastic silverware, we can just use our hands. I'm gonna go get some Black and Milds and some single cigarettes. Like, that was his words. Like, that's how bad it was for these girls. And I did not take them in, like, to stay with me. I was staying with my mom at the time, and otherwise, if I had my own place, like I did before, I would have taken these girls, not the parents, but the girls. But now I feel like guilty, and I know I shouldn't feel guilty. These weren't my kids, but I have a heart. Like, I'm a human, and I feel like these girls, they didn't even have a chance in life. Like, they've never saw or felt the way of living a happy life, a life without, having to hide your shoes, or having to hide your winter coat, or, I mean, that's just, I can't, oh my gosh. Like, I just feel that's just not fair. And, it just really gets to me. I know it is what it is. And recently I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I just got certified from the state for, I'm a certified Narcan trainer now. I'm getting my certificate. This coming week I'll have my completion certificate. So I completed that. And now what I'm going to do is, talk with my daughter, first of all, because how girls, or, boys too, how they are when they're in high school, and they're like, I don't know if I want you at my school, I don't want my friends to see you. But, it's probably different now because, the times are so different. But I was going to talk to my daughter first to see if, her advice, or not advice, but her opinion on, Narcan training in her school, because she goes to a public school, but it's suburban, and I used to go to that high school, so I know how it is. It's very judgmental, and the kids that go there, a lot of them are stuck up and just not nice. And but I want to talk to her about Narcan training, or talk to her school about it, because this is where these the teenagers or young adults, where they don't understand, and they're not going to tell their parents, oh, hey, I'm going to this party, I'm going to do this and that. You're not going to tell your parents that, you're not going to say every single detail that goes on, but what I'm trying to accomplish is I want to educate the younger generations, these schools. That's like the biggest thing I want to do right now, is educate the younger generation, like these high schools, about, Narcan training, because even though their kid might not use or associate with, people that do use, you have no idea. I mean, if you go to a party, like after a football game, or, it could be whatever. Something could happen, and having that Narcan can save somebody's life. And having these young adults and the school age kids know how to handle the situation could save someone's life. I mean, that is a step in the right direction, because I don't know where you guys are all from. I know from all over, but here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's terrible. It's just, the parents have, in suburbs, they have their strong opinions. Oh, we don't want them knowing all about that junk, that stuff, blah, blah, blah. People have their strong opinions, but you know what? People are dying. Like, kids that go to the college downtown, it took a couple of wealthy kids from wealthy families to die, and now they're putting the vending machines of Narcan on the corners, but they should have been doing that a long time ago, because this already was a huge problem. You see what I'm saying? So addiction does not discriminate, and everybody needs to know how to use it. And that's why I want to go to these high schools, to get permission first, of course, but to inform these kids, what it is. Because like I said, the kid might not be using or hang out with people that do, but what if you're with your girlfriend or your friends and you got a headache, and they say, oh, I got this, it's supposed to work for your head, it's for pain, and they take it and they die, because they make fentanyl look like candy now, and God knows what. So, anything could happen. Anywhere that you are, anytime. So that's why my whole purpose, my whole purpose in doing this and going through the training and doing all this is to be able to educate others about, choices, through my lived experiences, and how to use, Narcan, because that could save someone's life. I have, I can go on and on and on about what I've done in my past. It takes a lot of, time and talking about what I went through to start to feel like I am healing from it, because some of the things are very, very traumatic, and still to this day there's things that I have to do, like for example, what I'm saying is one thing is I have to sleep with my door closed at night. I don't know, I'll have to explain it to you guys at a different time, but some things are just very, very traumatic. I did get diagnosed with PTSD in 2013, but at that time I didn't really I really didn't care. Honestly, I was just an active addiction. I was like, whatever, you know. But now I'm trying my best to like understand everything, you know, at least trying to. I am just this world, honestly, like this year in time honestly scares the hell out of me, you know, especially being a mother and, you know, having young kids or having any kids, you know. It scares the hell out of me because I just cannot. I mean, from what, like 6 years ago until now, like there has been so much drastic changes and so much, I don't know, crazy things happening. And, you know, especially like, you know, the drug world and everything, like everything's so different. You know, it's different, yeah, as the way of, you know, it's not like, oh, just heroin's not around anymore, it's fentanyl. That's not what I'm just talking about. I'm talking about everything, you know, politics. I'm talking about, you know, the way addiction is looked at. I'm talking about the criminal justice system, you know, stigmatism in the healthcare industry. I mean, everything. It is just unbelievable. Anyways, I am going to go home now and go have dinner with my kids. I've met some people when I volunteer. I go out once a week by myself to hand out, you know, medical bags that I make up. You know, I just give out, I ask them what they need, and then I give it out. And I, like here in Milwaukee, the place where I volunteer at, they distribute Narcan Monday through Friday, but they do like the needle exchange. They do that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so they said that one kid came in on a day that they weren't distributing the needles and said he wanted Narcan, and he went behind the counter and like took a box of needles. And so now they're pretty strict on like where they have the stuff or whatever. But and I said, well, why don't you guys distribute, like if you guys are open Monday through Friday and do the Narcan those days, why don't you do the needles too? And they said, because of funding. You know, and so I said, you know, I feel for that guy that, you know, he went in and had to steal that in order to have those. I mean, shoot. I wish that I would have known that he needed those, because I would have, you know, gave him those, because I hand that stuff out once a week by myself out here. And man, that just, it upsets me. You know, it just really upsets me. And wow. You know, and I saw when I was handing out a couple medical supplies like about a month ago, I saw, like I was driving, and you know, this boy, he gets, you know, out of the car, and obviously, I mean, you're not stupid, you know, when you know what the kid's doing, you know, and you know what, I don't know how to describe it, you just know what's going on. Well, the kid gets out of the car, and he looks, I swear to God to you, he looks like 12 years old, like little skateboarder, DC skateboarder kid, you know, like 12 years old. And like he walks across the street, and he has, you know, like a needle behind his ear, so you already know what it is. But when he crossed the street, you know, he got out of the car, and then he crossed the street past my car. You know, he looked at me, I looked at him, and I could just see in his eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like looking in my car, I'm like, God, do I have like a soda or something to like give this kid, or to do something, or what? And I didn't, you know, I don't have soda in my car laying around, but you know, that stuff just, oh my God, gets to me. And it's not that, you know, it's just and it's not just the young people too, because everybody has a story and everybody deserves the same amount of respect and, you know, compassion. And it's never too late for anybody to get clean, you know. But you know, now in time, your body, that's why I 10 million % believe that, you know, in order to get clean from, you know, the fentanyl, whatever the hell it is nowadays that's in the stuff, to be at like a hospital, not like these little, not like the detox facilities, that, you know, just all they do is check your blood pressure and that's it. No, I'm talking about like a hospital, because, you know, years ago, you know, in the jail, they say, oh, you can't die from heroin detoxes. Okay, yeah, but now it's not heroin, it's other stuff, God knows, you know, mixed in, xylazine, everything, you don't know, and you don't know these people's bodies, and they need like a hospital, because it is scary as, oh my God, there's no way. Anyways, I will be talking to you guys later on, and please hit like and subscribe to my channel. I am grateful to be here today and to have another day with you guys. Please stay strong and remember that you are not alone. And I'm taking my own advice myself, because, you know, I need to listen to myself too, because I watch some of these things on YouTube, and, you know, it helps me know that I'm not alone. So please, everybody, have a good night and keep pushing forward to do something positive for yourself, even if it's the littlest thing. Just do one thing nice for yourself, you know, or reward yourself with something. Just do something nice, because you never know when your last day or last second is going to be out in this world. So please don't forget that. All right, you guys have a great night, okay?